Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's so good to have you guys here again. Welcome to Claudia's Corner. So first thing, have you guys been liking, commenting and sharing these videos? Because it's free, and it absolutely helps my channel grow, which is something that I really wish to happen. So please support me in any way, shape or form. I know people out there don't want to be doing the most, but I really would appreciate it. Subscribe, share, comment, everything. It's so good having you back here again today, and I'm so excited for this video because it's my current struggle. It's my current thing, like it's what I'm really facing day in and day out, and it made me realize actually a lot of mums must be going through the exact same thing. Today's video is 6 tips for a breastfeeding mum back in the office, and I think it's something that a lot of women face, and sometimes it can be a bit of a shock and it can be like, what is going on here? Made me think actually I'm going to do a video about this because I think it is really important, and I want other women to have a lot more ease in this area. I don't want it to be an issue, more to be something you take in your stride. I am a mum that decided to breastfeed and I enjoy the process to a certain point, and with my first daughter I stopped breastfeeding at 9 months, and I plan to do the same with Malaya, and so this was a big deal for me when I was going back to work in the office. The aim of this video is for every single breastfeeding mum to leave empowered and feeling confident in that they can do it, and that they've got the tools and the resources in place to actually kill it at work, building your career, doing the amazing things you do while still being a mum. I do believe it is possible. I do think you can do it, and it's really important to me because a lot of women say like they lose themselves, they get stressed. All of that is real. It happens. It's the facts. But I also know with certain things put in place and with the right knowledge, you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. And so these are my 6 key tips that I definitely think can help you. It's my birthday, baby. Do it like it's my birthday. As most of you know, I am a full-time working mum of 2, and I absolutely love it. I love being a mum and I love working and earning that money. But I've had a really big transition in going back to work whilst being a breastfeeding mum, because there's a whole other level to that which a lot of women have obviously conquered before me. It's nothing new, but I thought actually it'd be really good to have this conversation with you guys to say this is probably what you will come against or come across, and this is how you tackle it. So don't feel any way, you'll make it through, just like the millions of women that have gone ahead before us. Point number 1 is do not be embarrassed. Breastfeeding is the most natural thing ever out there. I know it's hard, which is why a lot of women do not do it for a long time frame, but it's actually very natural. Your body produces milk. This is not something that we just all of a sudden decided to do. It's literally what your body does. Milk. How amazing is that? And so because it is something that is natural and everyone in the world knows about it, don't be embarrassed about it at all, and just take it within your stride. There can be a sort of like a dark cloud over it where people think, actually, I don't really want to do it in public, which I get, it's not comfortable. And then there's also that feeling of, oh, what would they think of me if I say the word breastfeeding? And if they have an issue, that's a you problem, and I think you just have to see it like that. Because another tip is to find a room, a space for you to actually feel free to breastfeed. My workplace is amazing because there is actually a nursing room. What? They have a nursing room, which clearly shows that they actually take it of high importance that there are mothers out there that need to breastfeed, and so if that's the case, they have to provide the space for it. So I know my office has a nursing room, and not every office has that, but in my previous workplace, when I went back after my first baby, they had a first aid room, and so the first aid room was amazing because I had access to a private area where I could go in, literally undress myself, get my boob out and be comfortable in that area to breastfeed. If you think about it, when you breastfeed at home or wherever you normally feed your baby, they tend to say be on the sofa or have a special nursing chair because you're actually meant to be really relaxed, and this really helps with the letdown of milk. And so if you're in the work environment, obviously it's not your most relaxed place. It's probably more stressful because you have managers and directors and so on demanding things from you, but to find an area where you can have that peace to sit down and breathe and relax is exactly what your body needs, so that the milk just flows. I just need to get as much milk as possible out in that time, and so you need to be comfortable. So find that space, ask for access to the first aid room if a nursing room is not available, and just relax. I know some people run to their car if you're someone that drives to work, but make sure you have your area set up so that you can pump in a good space. One thing that I really want to encourage all you breastfeeding mums to do is stick to a type of schedule. So if you think about it, when you were breastfeeding at home, you would have probably fed them, whether it be on demand or whether you have a strict schedule, there's usually a gap of 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. And as they get bigger, that gap obviously extends, but you tend to have a slight routine. You know about this by now. You've had that experience with your baby, you've got to know them, they've got to know you, and so you know when the feed is coming. And when you go to work, that obviously completely changes because they're at childcare and you're away from them, and your breasts are just filling up and filling up and filling up throughout the day. And so you, for your own sanity and to not have any pain, you need to pump. The body does work on a supply and demand operation. So when you pump, it's a signal to the body that you're feeding someone. Before, you probably did feed every 3 hours. That may not be possible for you at work. It wasn't possible for me, but I knew by midday I had to pump. So no matter what, I blocked that time out of my diary, and at midday I was in that nursing room and I was pumping because I was not gonna get engorged for anyone. And if I had a meeting, then obviously give or take 30 minutes. Keep the routine, keep a schedule, keep your body regulated, because what will happen is your supply will drop. It will reduce. It's used to being used constantly in the home, and then all of a sudden there's no baby. And so what I've come to do is feed in the morning before work, pump at lunch when at work, and feed at night before bed. And that's what works for me. When I first went back to work, it completely dried up because I didn't stick to a schedule. And so that's when I had to then put a whole load of things in place to get my milk supply back, which actually caused me a bit of stress and pressure because I did not want to give up breastfeeding. As much as my child is drinking formula, I still wanted to have my input also. And it made me feel, if I'm honest, less of a mother. It made me feel like I wasn't there for her and I wasn't doing what I had set out to do. Obviously, all of that is lies. My child is fed, well looked after, growing beautifully. But for me, it's all those mum guilt thoughts that you have when you go back to work. And I was adamant that my milk would not dry up. So I got on job and I got a schedule and I now stick to it. And I'm just so thankful because my mind is at rest and my baby gets to have my breast milk. Another point is your milk could and probably will dry up faster than if you were just at home breastfeeding them as per normal. And so for me, like I mentioned before, that was a slight issue because I went back to work when Malaya was 6 months old, and I had in my mind that I was going to breastfeed her until she was 9 months. So to stop 3 months early was never the plan. Yes, I was going back to work, but in terms of producing milk, that was never the plan. And so I said to myself, Claudia, go and fix up and go and get your milk supply up. I know a lot of women struggle with this. I've done some research on ways to increase milk supply and then I implemented it. So one thing I done was I drank tea. I think it was called mother's milk. I'll put it in the link. This is a disclaimer. I don't know if any one of these products was what made my milk supply increase, but I know doing all of these things together, my milk supply did increase. That makes sense. I can't pinpoint what it is, but all of these things together, it worked. So the first one was mother's milk. I drank tea, I drank it every day, multiple times. The second thing was I had the biscuits, the lactation cookies, as they call them, fancy. And it was chocolate chip and it was the vegan one because I can't have dairy because of Malaya. Next thing I done was I pumped and pumped and pumped, and then I obviously breastfed her at night. So I was just increasing the usage of my body breastfeeding. And so with all of these things in place, my milk supply did increase. My body was like, whoa. And I kid you not, I was producing crazy amount of milk again. I had storage bag after storage bag. The key is to not stress. Don't stress our bodies in general, it doesn't react well to stress. So you don't want to put that pressure on yourself. Also, if the milk doesn't come, it doesn't come. Your child is healthy. I breastfeed, I formula feed, and I puree feed, and soon it'll be solid, but I do it all. It's not always gonna go the way you think, and so don't put that pressure on yourself. Don't stress about it. Use the right pump. Sorry, with Sienna, I had a Timmy Toppy electronic pump, which obviously plugs into the wall, and I sat in the chair and I pumped endlessly. Like, I needed batches and batches of this bad boy milk, so I was pumping and pumping, but I had to sit in one space. And then I realized, oh, I need to move sometimes, so I got a manual pump. The manual also takes up 2 hands, but at least I can move around a bit more. I didn't have to sit still. What I found with Malaya this time, and having a baby in the future, is that there's new technology out there. The LV pump is out. The LV pump is amazing. There's pros and cons, but as much as the wireless aspect of it, amazing. I could literally, even right now, if I'm sitting here talking to you, I could put it in and pump. It's meant to be quiet. Mine isn't that quiet. And LV, maybe you need to, I've done the troubleshooting, don't come at me, and it's still not quiet. So I would not actually use it in a meeting with like a board of directors. The advert can say what it wants. I told you I'm going to give you the real truth. It's a good pump. It's amazing because it's wireless, but unfortunately for me, it's not soundless. There's still sound, pumping, suction, all of that. For me personally, I think my friend said it's not a problem for her, so this could be a me problem. When I use it, my breasts have to be really full of milk, otherwise I feel like it takes ages to get anything out. When it comes to that space where I'm like, my breast, let's say, is half full and I need to get milk out, I use a manual pump. I've used the Lanisol one and I've used the Mandela one. I'll put links below, and they both work amazingly for me as a manual pump, as an easy carry around, easy to clean, easy to put together. Like I said, the LV pump is amazing because it is so small and you can move around with it. Pick what's right for you, and that will just make your process of breastfeeding at work so much easier. So for example, I charge my LV in the day when I'm at my desk. It's in a bag though, don't worry. And then I go to the nursing room, pump at my lunchtime, then I put the milk in a storage bag and put it in the fridge and carry on with my day. It doesn't have to be more than that. So I would say don't think too deep into it. Get the pump that works for you and you're winning. Winning. Don't know what's wrong with me today. Another tip I would say to all you mamas is to keep going. It's the hardest thing juggling being a full-time mum and a full-time employee, because that is the facts. That is what you're doing. And so I don't believe anything is wrong with formula. Like I said, both Sienna and Malaya are on formula. I'm not against it at all. Fed is best. But I know for myself, I wanted to breastfeed. And going back to work made it really scary, especially when my milk supply dropped. I'm telling you, it was dry as Sahara Desert. And like, she'll be like fighting with me trying to get milk again. And I was like, that's when the stress hit me and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm not producing the milk I was before. And so I really had to take a step back, look at my situation and make a decision. Do I want to continue or not? And because I decided I wanted to continue, I then had to think, how am I going to continue? There's always a solution. I looked online, like most people, Google search, found the solutions and then put it into place. And like I said, all of the things I've done together worked. Breastfeeding for me is that time of comfort, that time of bonding with Malaya, that time when I have been away all day at work and been go, 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 and she hasn't had any attention from me. When I breastfeed her, that's our time, and I really didn't want to lose that. And I've heard from other mums also, they love that time with their baby. They're only babies for so long. And so that's another reason why I would say just keep going, because before you know it, they'll be 18 asking you for money to go to Ibiza, and it's gonna hit you that your baby is no longer a baby anymore. And so in this season, I said, I'm not gonna let work stop me. I'm not gonna let whatever I'm facing day in and day out stop me from doing what I want to do personally, which was to breastfeed my child. And it's actually been a really good way to kind of wean her off it, because she does have it less in the day. I think the hardest one is always a nighttime breastfeeding, but if you do sleep training, which you can check out in my other videos, there's a way to tackle that as well. And so with all these pieces put together in the puzzle, it makes a beautiful picture. Wow. And I love the fact that I've got the balance now, I didn't before, of working full time and also having a breastfeeding baby. So thank you for watching. Guys, thank you for watching my videos. Please, please, please like, share and subscribe, because I want everyone to find out how amazing it is to be a mum. Guys, my hair is so dirty. I feel like I need to just say this. You know, we had that sand rain, that nasty sand rain. I think it came from Spain or something, and everyone's car got dirty. I got soaking wet in that. I had no umbrella and no hood. I don't know who sent me, because I'm clearly born and raised in the UK, so I should know way better. But there's a whole heap of sand in this, and I was just like, I need to film my YouTube video. So what am I gonna do? And I said, girl, an up to bun. You gonna do an up to bun and 2 little curls, because you got a video to film. So that's a little disclaimer for this week. My hair is dirty. I'm going to wash it today, so I'm glad this video is done now. It's kind of like, you know, when you can get one thing out of the way so you can do the next. That's where I am. So yeah, a little trick, little thing.